Welcome, everyone, to Minneapolis Sound Radio. I am Tonya Giddens, and today I have the pleasure of interviewing Minneapolis Sound Radio's Artist of the Month. He is a singer based in Minneapolis. He is also a writer, an arranger, and his influences include, the best of the best. Stevie Wonder, Marvin Gaye, Sam Cooke. You like the old school stuff, I see.
I do. Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing
I
wrong
mean,
with
I like new school stuff too.
Yeah, but it just doesn't hit the same. It
No.
doesn't hit the same. But in 2024, he was a semifinalist in season 26 of The Voice, and you were on Team Reba McEntire. That should have been quite interesting.
That was, yeah.
Oh, we have a lot to cover in a little amount of time, so I would like to introduce to you the artist of the month, Mr. Adam Bonahan. Did I pronounce that right?
Adam Bohanan.
Bohanan. Okay. Forgive me,
It's
but
okay.
hey, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
So let's talk about where you grew up, from one New Yorker to another, even though I'm a city New Yorker, you grew up in Long Island. Tell us a little bit
So,
about that.
okay, so I was born in Long Island.
Hmm.
I lived there for a little while and then I actually moved to Israel when I was quite young.
Okay.
And then after that I moved to England and I did my schooling in England, like high school level and college level stuff. And then I moved to Houston, Texas.
Okay.
And then I moved back to New York and I lived there for about 20 years, like in the city. I lived in mostly in Brooklyn and a little bit of Long Island City out there. And then I moved to the Twin Cities about 5 years ago. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How did, I was really out of breath listening to all the different places that you grew up. How
Mm.
did it shape your musical influences? How did the cultures shape your musical influences?
That's a great question because yeah, you have to like accommodate different styles when you live in different like countries, like different people have different preferences in their styles and whatnot. So I think that I was also like out of touch with I was out of touch with like my personal culture a lot of the time because my mom was white and she was taking me to a lot of different countries where I was like I was treated differently but I didn't know, and then I came to England. When I moved to England I started working at this marketplace. And I was walking down the street. I was like very young. I was like, I don't know. I was up until that point, I was singing mostly like what my mom wanted to listen to, like the Beatles and Carole King and James Taylor and that sort
Mhm.
of stuff.
Right, right.
And I was walking through a marketplace and there was this booth that had like bootleg R&B CDs.
Mm.
And I was just like walking through it and I remember very clearly hearing like Music Soul Child, Just Friends. And I was like, oh, this is me, right? And then like I stood there and I listened to Jaheim and Bilal and like all these other neo soul influences that like really hit with me.
Hmm.
And that's when I realized, oh, I'm not just white and Jewish, I'm also black, So like it really like connected with me personally. And that was I want to say I was like 14. And maybe younger, probably like 13, 14. But then from then on I was more exploring like what like the music that the music from my other culture, not just like my like the white music that my mom used to have me listen to. And that really brought me into like listening to a lot more older soulful stuff, which I really got into later in life because it just fit my voice really, really well. Like people
Right.
would compare me a lot, vocally a lot to Stevie Wonder, which, I'm
I
not
mean,
saying
you
I'm
can't get
Stevie
any
Wonder.
better than that.
Yeah.
You
But so I
definitely
would
can't
sing
get
a
any
lot of
better
his
than
stuff.
that.
Yeah, yeah. And that's the style that kind of like influenced me in my style and like just like moving around really like what gave me the ability to pick and choose what I wanted to feel and do. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so you said your mother is white and your father is
Black.
black. Okay.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure I heard that correctly. So you basically had, and a lot of people would say you had a lot of different you had the best of both worlds, I guess. You could say that as far as musically,
Yeah,
as
yeah,
far as
okay,
musically.
yes. Musically.
Now, I can imagine, I
Yeah.
can imagine in other ways it was a little bit different.
It's tricky, yeah, yeah, yeah. But musically, yes, absolutely. I feel like I was able to, because like I can connect with musicians on many different styles of music because I personally am connected to a lot of different styles of music, being like having traveled the world, listening to like a lot of different music, but also like being brought up listening to different music and also like being connected culturally to a lot of different music. Yeah.
Right. That makes sense. That makes sense. When did you realize that you had a voice?
Uh, I didn't know a lot about it when I was younger, when I was very, very young. I do know that like I started singing for my mom a lot when we were in Israel because she loved me singing like Israeli songs for her.
Hmm.
And I didn't think it was I thought it was just she thought it was cute. I didn't think it was like I have a voice.
Right.
And and then yeah, like I think like when I was yeah, about uh 13, yeah, is when I started like oh, actually I think I wrote my first song when I was like 11.
Hmm.
And and I remember writing it and thinking, this is great. I wish I had somebody to sing it. And then I sang it and somebody was like, wow, you're really great. And it wasn't like my family, it was somebody else. So that kind of gave me like the confidence to like work on my voice personally and like, and actually like think of myself as a singer. And then yeah, I won a few like school competitions when I was young and I realized that oh yeah, I'm actually like pretty good at this, and so I kept doing it. Yeah.
Do you remember the song that you actually wrote, the very first song?
I have the piece of paper somewhere in my apartment. I don't remember exactly how it goes, but I
Mhm.
do have like it written out so I can
Okay.
look back at it. Yeah.
Okay. Um, Now take us to, because I'm the type of person I just jump around
Sure.
from subject to subject.
Let's do it.
Take us to The Voice.
Yeah.
Um, what part of The Voice reshaped how you saw yourself as being an artist?
Hmm. That's a good question. I think that The Voice made my career more professional. I always thought of myself as a professional musician. I thought of myself because like I've been a professional musician for about 15 years now. And but I thought of myself as like a working musician, right? Like I
Right.
do a lot of weddings and events and that was my thing. And I think The Voice being like experiencing The Voice being on that show, it's a they treat you like royalty. They treat you like you're a celebrity already. Like from the
Mhm.
get-go, you walk in the door, you are a celebrity. They drive you around, they take you to nice dinners. It's really like you are a celebrity. And so I felt like that made me feel more professional and also gave me the tools to like really focus on how to be more professional and how to really focus on my career and not so much doing like cover band stuff and more focusing
Right.
on like my own music and getting it out there. The
Right.
other thing is uh just having my name out there has opened a lot of doors. Like I can send a message to a venue or a festival and be like, "Hey, this is Adam. I was on The Voice in the top eight. Have me at your thing." And I'm there, a lot of the time. And
Okay.
and that's been really great. That actually been really like people have been like very responsive to me when like reaching out. Yeah.
Right. That makes sense.
Yeah.
When you audition, take me through. I like to find out the process of something.
Sure.
Take me through just briefly, because we don't have a lot of time. Take me through the process of the audition, the actual audition.
The blind audition?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, it's pretty cool. They fly you out. They set you up. You work on this song that you're going to present to the the coaches, and yeah, they like you give them a list of songs that you want to sing, and they pick from that song, and you go back and forth and decide on which song works best for you. You have a
Hmm.
few rehearsals with the band, and the musical director is absolutely incredible. I hope he's watching or listening because I love him. He's great. And the vocal
Okay, mention it,
coaches,
mention his name.
I don't know that I should. I
Okay,
think they
well then
like to
we
keep some
won't.
anonymity. I think like the sideline people like to keep like a fair bit of anonymity.
That's fair.
But
Yes.
musical director is absolutely amazing. The vocal coach that they have there, the coaches are amazing. And yeah, they make you feel really, really comfortable with the song. Like they make you feel like you do like a bunch of test runs of the song
Hmm.
on stage, off stage. They walk you through what they call the song map of like how the song where it goes from moment to moment, which is really cool.
Nice.
And then yeah, the audition happens and you're right there. Like most people, from what I heard, most people like kind of black out for the song when they're on stage because it's
Hmm.
so high pressure. Uh, After like as it goes along, as the show goes along, it's less pressure. It's not as like it's not, you don't like freak out and you're not as nervous. But the
Right.
first time around when you're in front of those coaches waiting for a chair turn, it's a lot of pressure. So I kind of just like muscle memory sang the song and got the turn from Reba. I was a one chair turn. I did make it to the top eight, but yeah, I was a one chair turn. And everybody like they all seemed to really like me, but they couldn't like put a finger on what exactly I was trying to do.
Right.
But Michael Bublé said he really liked me. Snoop said he liked me. Freaking Gwen said she liked me. And yeah, it was amazing. It was scary, very scary, but it was really
I
cool.
can imagine. What would you tell yourself before the blind audition? What did you tell yourself that
So I like
possibly
to do
calmed
this
your
thing.
nerves?
I like to do this thing where I like bring down my expectations.
Hmm.
So I'm like, I made it this far. I'm just gonna be on TV for quick. Like after every time, I was like, I'm going home. It's fine. Like I'm ready to go home. After every time I went on that stage, or like before every time I went on that stage, I would think, I'm ready to go home. It's gonna be okay. I don't mind. And I
Right.
kept getting picked to move on, but I kept having my bags packed and ready to go every single time. So I was just
Hey,
like, I like to keep my expectations low, so then when I am when something good happens, I exceed my expectations. That's basically what it is.
that's actually interesting because I know some people they have these, I don't want to say for lack of a better word, delusions. Like, oh, I'm going to get this done. It's going to be great. And
Right.
then they're not selected. And
Yeah.
then it kind of colors their world for a little while to the point where sometimes they can't kind of bounce back immediately.
Yeah.
It's interesting that you said that you had your bags packed and just in case.
It was very funny because I was always the one that had his bags packed. And everybody else is like, their room is just like spread, all their stuff spread across the room. I'm like, my room, you walk in, there's like nothing because all my bags are just like packed and ready to go. Every time I went on that stage. And I like didn't have to go home until the end, which I wish I didn't have to pack my bags, but yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, the fact that you made the top eight is good enough because a lot of people didn't. A lot of people didn't even make the audition. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So for you to have gone that far, it shows a testament to your work and also to the foresight of Reba McEntire
Oh yeah.
to
Yeah,
see
she's
that.
great.
And what was that like working with her?
I say this all the time. She is absolutely incredible. She's exactly what she seems like. She's like sweet and sassy at the same time.
Hmm.
She uh she get like she's really makes you feel comfortable when you're talking to her. Like she really makes you feel like, you know, you can basically do anything, which is absolutely amazing. I loved, I mean, I say this also, like, I would never have made it as far as I did on any other team. Like, Reba saw something in me and kept choosing me. And yeah, I basically wouldn't be where I am without her. Yeah.
Wow. What off-camera moment shaped you as far as growth the most?
You're trying to get some tea over here.
No,
Uh,
no, no. Well, my name starts with a T, yes, but no, I'm just curious. And you don't have to say names or anything like that.
there are a few off-camera moments actually. I think that for me, I personally, I like to think that one of the best things about being on a show like The Voice is creating a community, right?
Hmm.
And I think one like some of the best off-camera moments were time that I spent with other contestants, like
Hmm.
Jandan, who made it to the top 8 as well, who
Right.
was abs oh my God, his voice is amazing. But yeah, we nerded out together and went to the Galleria Mall and just like looked at Funko Pops, you know, and
Oh
then
my
like
God, I love Funko Pops.
I love
I
Funko
have a
Pops too.
collection. Oh my
I have a
gosh.
I have a Reba Funko Pop. That's why
Do you?
she gave us a Funko Pop. That was her like gift. And
Nice.
yeah, and actually the secret that nobody knows, the production didn't know if I was going to move on to the top 5 or not.
Hmm.
So they made a bunch of Adam Bohanan Funko Pops to give to Reba on TV, but it never happened. So now I have a bunch of Funko Pops of myself.
But that's nice though.
It's great, yeah.
What's your favorite Funko Pop? Sidebar.
Ooh. I mean, I have to say the Reba one, but it might be okay.
He's coming.
This little baby Groot right here,
Oh,
because this was like the first Funko Pop I ever got.
okay.
So this is like my favorite. I love this little guy. But yeah, I have some like really great Funko Pop. I have like I don't know, 50 maybe more, probably more. Yeah.
Okay. I'm not near 50, but I do have some and I have my favorites. So,
Yeah. What's your favorite?
oh gosh, you would put me on the spot. Right now, I was thinking about that. I said probably my George Clinton,
Okay, nice. Oh, very cool.
my
I love
George
that.
Clinton or my Miles Davis.
Oh. Yeah, I it's funny because I have a Snoop one that I got because he has a whole sec. I went to the Funko Pop store in LA
Hmm.
when I was out there,
Oh my
and he
gosh,
has a
we need to
whole
go there.
section in the Funko Pop store, like an
Wow.
entire like Snoop section, like a death row, just a bunch of different
Wow.
Funko Pops is great. The Funko Pop store is really cool. I would check that out.
Wow. Yeah, I'll definitely have to check that out. In The Voice,
Yes,
when you found out that you weren't advancing,
yeah.
what was your first thought?
You know, okay, so a lot of people go in there with the expectation of like winning. Uh, But actually, most people don't. Most people go in there with with like wanting to make it to the top 5 and that's it, right?
Mhm.
Uh, there's a lot of different reasons why, but like I was not. My goal was to make it to the top 5. That was my goal going into it.
Right.
Um, and I made it to the top 8. That's like, and I know people whose goal was also to make it to top 5 and didn't get past the blind audition. So like
Mm.
I think that I did extremely well for my goals generally.
Right.
I wasn't at all disappointed.
Okay.
I was excited that like I was there with like a bunch of really incredible people. And we also the top 8 all stayed to the end to like do the like finale sort of
Right.
what is it? Uh the we
And
sang the song. We sang the Wicked song, right? We sang
okay.
Defying Gravity. So we were there to we stick around and like do that and then like hug the top 5 when they won at the end, you know, and
Yeah.
Sofronio and all that. And yeah, so like I knew I had in my initially I had in my brain the top 5. I knew who was going to be not exactly who it ended up being. I knew the top three ex precisely. I called them like right away. But
Right.
like I had like my brain in the top five. So for me, I was just doing it for fun, right? Like being in the top eight was just like fun.
Right.
And it's funny because I got off the show, I got eliminated, and then me and the bottom three people from the top eight all went out because we're not supposed to drink when we're out there. So so we all went out drinking.
Oh
And
boy.
it was great. It was great. We went out for drinks. We went to a karaoke bar, and I posted a video from that. I sang Pony. And and
Not Genuine's Pony.
yeah, and
Not
people
Elgin.
on the internet were like, "Why is he singing better at karaoke than he ever did on the show?" Because I did like,
Ooh.
because I can't. I'd love if I sang Pony on the show. Yeah, it would have been over because I do a like real dirty version of soulful, dirty version of Pony, and people go
Oh
nuts
dear.
for that. But like, I can't do that on the show because nobody's gonna be. You're not gonna let me do Pony on on television.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think Reba might not have chosen you, but Snoop might have.
Yeah, 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 for sure. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Host voice.
yeah.
Looking at your work beyond the stage, how do you, in order to have a wider audience, to gain more, to, I don't know, well, maybe you don't necessarily want to become more mainstream. How do you keep your authenticity in trying to reach a wider audience?
Oh man, oof. Yeah. So I was talking to a different like singer from the show, Austin Stencil, who
Mhm.
we were talking, and he said to me like, you always have to be on, you always have to be like your best, and he also said like, you should want to be the next Beyonce, you should want to be the next like big thing, and like.
Mhm.
I said, like, that's not what I'm going for. I'm not going for the next Beyonce. Honestly, my goal would be like something like Alan Stone or like
Okay.
Marcus King, something like that. That's what
Okay.
I don't want to be like the most famous person in the world. I want to be somebody that can headline a festival, but not somebody that's like selling out Madison Square Garden like five
Right.
nights in a row. I
Right.
so the way I keep my authenticity is by staying true to what my goals are, which is not to be ridiculously big. It's to be good enough so that I can pay my bills and also do music full time and be happy
Right.
with music. Yeah.
And I actually admire that because a lot of people have these feelings that, oh, I'm going to be the biggest star in the world.
Yeah.
And they don't realize, well, I'd say within the last, what, 15, 20 years, how people can see how social media can change a person, or
Yeah.
it can show how persistent people are. And it makes celebrities in general a little more leery about going out in public, which is unfortunate, and I respect you saying that because a lot of people would just, like I said, would just say, oh, I want to be a star, I want to do
Yeah.
this, I want to do this. So yeah, that's to you, kudos.
I'm
Yeah.
still at the point where people walk up to me and say, "Oh my God, I saw you on the show. I really love your stuff. And can I take a picture?" I'm still at the point where that's cool. I'm like, no, but I haven't got to the point where like I can't walk down the street and like so I think that I don't when I get to the point where I'm annoyed that people are stopping me,
Mm,
I think that that's not going to be fun for me because like I want to connect with people. I want them to like be excited to see me and I don't want to them to see in my face that I'm not excited to see them or something, you know what I mean?
yeah, that's the I think the worst thing is when you meet someone, or when you admire someone. It could be an actor, musician, and then you meet them and they're just like, oh, womp womp.
Yeah, yeah,
Very disappointing.
yeah.
And then you want to just throw out all their records and things like that. So yeah, it's a double-edged sword, and a lot of people don't realize that. Where do you think, well, obviously I know, but tell us, where do you get that grounding from to
Wait, you said
remain?
you know where I get the grounding?
I
Where do I get
think
the
I
grounding?
do.
You
I
tell
think
me.
I do.
You
But
tell
I
me.
don't, You know what happens when you assume, and we're not assuming today. So who or what keeps you grounded?
Okay. So I'll tell you one thing, like my family and my wife keep me grounded for sure.
Hmm.
My wife t was telling me the whole time, like, don't get too excited, like this could be nothing, it could be everything, but it could be nothing. So don't put all your like eggs in this basket. But also she's like very supportive at the same time. So like I like keeping myself grounded. She helps me a lot with that. My family also like, they make fun of me. Like my sister, I have a brother and a sister, and my sister had like changed my name or changed my brother's name on her
Hmm.
phone, and it said brother, not the famous one, you know.
Oh,
And so like,
okay.
I I I the way I stay grounded is because I'm not huge. If I call me back when, I'm selling out,
I
a
won't be able
stadium.
to call you when you become that mega star. You
Yeah.
remember me, little old me with the pendant. You won't
I'll
remember that.
if I'm in Brooklyn, yeah, let me know and we'll just yeah. No, I'm not like huge quite yet. So I don't so I'm not like I'm not trying to figure out how I'm staying grounded. When I get to a point where I'm too big for my britches, then I'll start like think I'm not I don't really worry, like I don't really worry about being grounded. Also like I'm a nerd. I'm like a fun like loving guy, like I'm not trying to like, as I said, I'm not trying to be like Beyonce, or I'm not trying to be like Usher or whatever.
Hmm.
I'm just so like I don't, as far as being grounded is concerned, I don't really like, I don't worry about it because I'm just a cool dude. I'm just
I
chill. I'm chill. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough, fair enough. What,
What did you think it was gonna be? Who did you said you had an idea?
I thought you were going to say your mom, your wife, your family.
Yeah, I family and yeah, for sure. My family and my wife, absolutely. Yeah, they keep me grounded. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
that makes sense. Let's talk about your music. What are you working on now? Tell us what
Okay.
you're working on.
So I have a single that's coming out, should be coming out pretty soon, that I recorded before I went on the show. I recorded a bunch of music before I went on the show. And I'm
Hmm.
trying to get that project done, finished so I can move on to bigger projects. I
Right.
have I'm working with a few contestants from the show to write songs for them. I'm also working on like two different albums for myself, and
Okay.
also like a few like fun projects that are coming up. I
Okay.
I want to do like a really soulful, like Sharon Jones and the Dap Kings style.
Oh,
I know. I used to live two doors down from Daptone Records
oh.
on Troutman in Brooklyn. But yeah, Sharon Jones and Dap Kings style Hanukkah
Hmm.
celebration, because like I'm telling you right now,
Well,
like I've been saying this for a while, but I feel like Jewish music is not as funky and soulful. Sharon Jones and the Dap Kings, 8 Days of Hanukkah is the best song
listen,
that
that
Hanukkah
entire
has.
album, that
Yeah,
entire album.
absolutely right. So I'm trying to write that sort of style music and do a big show every Hanukkah. Like I want to open for Michael Bublé. He does his
Hmm.
Christmas thing. I'll do my Hanukkah thing, but I'm gonna do it like real soulful. That's my goal for.
The people wouldn't know what to do with themselves. They would not know what to do with themselves. I'm telling you.
I know that's what I want. I want them to like not know what to do. I want them to like jump and scream, and yeah, that's the goals. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're going to start wrapping this up, but I have a couple of questions, a couple of
Sure.
rapid fire questions that I
Boom.
need to pull out, and I have them here. Without thinking, just answer.
Okay.
First album you bought with your own money.
Music Soul Child. I just want to be. I think it was. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Well, you said your go-to karaoke song.
yeah. Is it? Yeah. Go to karaoke is Pony. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Your dream duet partner of any era. It could be
Oh,
anyone.
as Stevie Wonder. Absolutely.
Okay. What song?
As.
Oh, I that was in my head,
Oh
actually.
yeah.
That was in my head. Yes.
100%. I do as immediately right now. Stevie Wonder wants to do it. I'll do it right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Favorite sandwich?
BLT.
Turkey or pork?
The BLT. I'm gonna do with bacon, real bacon. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I know I'm Jewish.
Look, listen, but you also have black, so
Exactly.
I get it. I
Yeah,
get
yeah,
it.
yeah.
It's a joke, y'all. So don't start getting weirded out. Most unexpected artists on your playlist.
This is funny. Colin Hay. He is, yeah, I love Colin Hay. My band makes fun of me for loving Colin Hay. I just like, because every time I'm in on tour, I'm just like want to listen to Colin Hay, just like love him. Yeah.
I keep Men at Work on my phone to listen to.
Yeah.
So no judgment here. You'd be surprised what my artist would be. I had to think about it when I was
What's
going.
yours?
Henry Rollins and the Rollins Band.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. People like, what? Yeah. Because Henry's hot. Shout out to Henry Rollins. If your life had a soundtrack, what's the opening track called?
If my life had a soundtrack, what's the opening track called? Um, Hard at Work.
Okay.
Because it's just like I'm always working.
All right. Well, if that's the case, it should be working day and night.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. You have your thoughts. I'm not, I'm just joking with you. All right. So, what does success look like now for you
I
versus
think
before The Voice?
I think success now would look like headlining First Ave to a sold out show.
Mm,
That's success for me, would be. If I do that, it's everything else is just like the cherry on top. That's my goal. Everything else is a cherry on top.
okay. All right. Wrapping this up, what is next for Adam Bohanan?
I'm doing some festivals. I'm releasing some new music, and I am, hard at work all day, all night, working day and night to bring more content and excitement to the internet and the world. Yeah.
Okay. Final question. What does Artist of the Month mean for you?
Artist of the Month for me means that I've been recognized as a musician who's like had some accomplishments, which is very exciting for me, and also it just means that, like I get I get more friends. People say like, they have internet followers. I call them
Mhm.
my internet friends. So I'm getting more
Right.
friends to come and message and chat and be able to like do more and be able to perform more for them. Yeah, that's what it means to me. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, let us close this out. Adam, thank you so much for joining me today. Congratulations on being the Artist of the Month for
Thank
Minneapolis
you.
Sound Radio. Tell everyone all your social media handles.
So yeah, you can find me at Adam Bohanan Music for most socials. That's YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. That's Adam Bohanan Music. And then yeah, just follow me, Adam David Bohanan on Facebook, I guess, is my music Facebook.
Mhm.
And yeah, that's basically where you can find me. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So thank you all for tuning in today to Minneapolis Sound Radio's podcast. I am Tonya Giddens, and you can find Minneapolis Sound Radio on Facebook and Instagram. So until next time, keep enjoying the music. And Adam, thank you again so much.
Thank you so much. It was a